So we're here today for a really fun announcement, and I hope at the end of the day, after if we've heard all about this great project, we all go forth and remind those who know about Hatch Street what a great place it is, and that it's not only great, but it's getting better. But also go out and let people know who might see this as a hidden gem, where it is and when it's open and what it's about, because this is on so many levels, this is going to be a real boost for the North End and for the city generally on many dimensions. So we are here at the former textile mill at 88 Hatch Street in the historic Nashawena Mill District in the city's North End to celebrate the new Darnett Landing and the expansion of the Hatch Street Studios, two projects in one really. And this is the brainchild of Jeff and Lori Glassman, who recently acquired this building earlier this year after a 2-year-long process, working with the city, working with the EDC. Jeff is the president of Darnett down the street. Now, not only is Jeff an impeccable dresser, as you can all see, guy has great taste. Really knows how to assemble an outfit, but he is also a very, very effective businessman. Darnett has really taken off in the city, and it's really a tribute to his leadership, his dedication to the city, and his far-sighted approach. And of all the success he's had, I mean, this project here in particular is really, I think, an example, an illustration of the kind of pie-growing approach that Jeff takes to everything he does. This is and Jeff just led us on the tour of a 30,000 square foot space that will be developed over the winter to create roughly 20 more units of art studios here. Now, so the significance of this space is manifold. It employs a number of folks for sure, but here this is where open studios started in the city. This is one of our most prominent sites for artists, working artists in the entire city. And New Bedford, as we're getting used to now, is routinely named as one of the top 10 most creative or artistic cities in the United States. A lot of you will remember the Atlantic monthly story from a few years ago written by Richard Florida, in which we were named the 7th most artistic city. But if anybody doubted him, there have been 2 other publications recently that said the same thing, the Bedford Top 10. And that's because of the high concentration of working artists that we have in the city. Working artists succeed in the city for lots of reasons. The first being that this is a city, a community that embraces creativity and thinking big and doing things different, and it's a tolerant, accepting place, and that is fertile ground for artists. But you need something else. Artists need to make money, and because for the most part, artists don't get rich doing what they're doing, so they need low overhead. Mill spaces like this offer that low-cost overhead, whether it's down in the Kilburn Mills in the South End or the Rope Works, or certainly 88 Hatch Street. We've got it in New Bedford, and it's a real asset. And having a thriving and still growing arts community is key. It is key to our future, because having artists who are working here not only offer the community a certain richness in terms of quality of life, but it also creates an environment where entrepreneurship can flourish. And so we want to make this happen, and Jeff and Lori have made it happen here and are expanding in a big way. So what we say to all of the artists out there is come one, come all. This is a great place to do work in the North End of the city with great views, really affordable space, and a place that's welcoming to them. That's not the only part of the story. This is also going to be a place where Jeff's going to be expanding his business, creating more jobs. There's another component in the South End on David Street as well. And so Darnett's a New Bedford business success story that is employing folks, giving people good jobs, allowing them to really make a difference in the community and put a roof over the heads of their families and live out the American dream right here in the city of New Bedford. So we have, and I will make an announcement about Open Studios, which is coming up in November. We'll pass that information along, but there was a lot of work that went into this. Jeff worked very closely with the team at the MBEDC, headed by Derek Santos, and I'll have Derek come up in a moment. And it's really, this is, and what Derek will explain, and he gives all the credit to his team as he should, but this is another example of how the team at the MBEDC is making it happen for business in our city. And so I wanted to call Derek up to talk a little bit about the project, the tax incentives that were used effectively to incentivize this project and to get it off the ground. So let me just call Derek up for a few details.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. For this project and the notion of creative enterprises and studios like this really took root at the EDC several years ago when we started doing the Upper Harbor planning. And Hatch Street, this particular operation, Open Studios, was already in business, but the question was, how can we get more of that? At the time, the mills across the harbor were not yet converted into market rate residential. Jeff had not yet bought Darnett Street, the former fiber leather building, and we wanted to see that expansion. So good planning has led to where we are today. Continued investment along the Upper Harbor, meaning additional jobs and additional economic growth for the city. Jeff has been a big player in that and having that go forward. Where the EDC and the city has fit in and worked very well with Jeff and his folks. And I have to say, Jeff is an exceptional mill owner. They do great work. They continue to do great work. They're forward-looking in terms of how they fit out space, in terms of using solar energy and other ways to create really highly competitive spaces that are desirable. But that costs money, right? That's more than the normal thing. So where we've been able to work with Jeff in the past, and we have here, is through the TIF program. You hear a lot about TIFs and tax financing, and the idea is how can you get better projects or make projects happen that normally would not happen. And I really have to give a lot of credit to the mayor and the city council for using that program effectively to incentivize the development that we want to see. Just on that floor that we were looking at upstairs, that's 20 additional spaces. Those are more artists in there. For us, those are all small businesses. Those are more people grabbing lunch in the North End. That's more activity. That's gonna inspire more vibrancy. So the TIF program that allows us to help businesses make that larger investment is a great tool to have in our back pocket. You often hear about it when Sid Wainer is doing a $15 million expansion that gets a lot of press. When new businesses in the business park, like HTP's headquarters, major expansion there, that gets a lot of press. But the smaller projects in terms of dollar value are no less in terms of economic impact. And so we're excited to work with Jeff not only on the TIF, but on gap financing in the past. And the last thing I'll say is, we operate a small business lending program and do microloans. And we've done them in the past for artists. We're always anxious to do more. And we're really a resource at the EDC for small business to succeed in New Bedford. So any role we can play in that, we're happy to do that. Certainly, seek us out after this or, jump on our website, whatever it is. But it's really a great partnership between Jeff, the mayor, and the city council to make these things go forward. And sometimes it's that last piece that's needed to push it over the finish line. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Good job as always. And just on that point about promoting small business, I just want to acknowledge the presence of Rick Kidder, the new Executive Director of the Greater New Bedford Chamber of Commerce. He's jumped right in, and the Chamber's continuing effort to promote small business and entrepreneurship in the city and in the region. Thank you, Rick, for being here today. So I'm going to call up in a moment Steve Martins, and then we'll have Jeff come up and bat cleanup. So Steve Martins is an important player in this. Steve is the ward counselor for this ward, Ward 2 in the city, and has been a big proponent of the kind of job creation that we've seen in the North End, this part of the North End in particular, in the last few years. We've got traffic problems here. We've got parking problems. These are problems that we want to have. They're problems we need to manage, but they're problems that we want to have because they're signs of growth. And the city council has been very supportive of the tax increment financing that we've had in place for many businesses, including Darnet, to expand here. And Steve in particular has been a huge proponent for this part of the North End, which he calls home. So I just want to thank Steve for all of his effort and ask him to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. I know we were kidding around about Jeff and the mayor dressing alike, but I should ask them if any of them are Joseph Abboud suits, because I was neighbor-friendly today and I wore my Joseph Abboud suit, especially the news you have to deliver to them, Jeff. But in all seriousness, as Derek had stated and what the mayor stated, for the city council, it's very easy for us when we receive these TIF applications to have to go in front of the council. And all of you, I'm sure, are very familiar about the process that once they go through NBEDC, they have to go through the city council, they have to go through the committee process, and then we have to ask the tough questions, right? We have a responsibility to ensure that we keep businesses here in the city of New Bedford. We want new businesses to locate here. We want current businesses to expand in the city of New Bedford, but we also have a responsibility in regards to our constituents to ensure that their taxes are protected as well, because somehow everyone is affected in some kind of way. But in this particular case, in all the TIFs that I've gone through in the city council, this was extremely easy. As Derek and Jeff both were in the chambers, is that, Jeff already runs a business, a very successful business. As the mayor has stated, he has wonderful staff, he offers great benefits, he has a great team. So for us, it was very easy that when he wanted to undertake this project as well and expand and offer the same economic opportunities in the North End, it was a very quick process. Jeff was very successful at what he does, and I know he was going to be very successful under this project. And it's the great partnership, as what the mayor and Derek both said, on all sides, that made this a very smooth transition and a very quick approval process for Jeff and Hash Street Studios as well. And as the mayor has stated, the North End is growing in the last couple of years. You've seen infrastructure improvements along Belleville Avenue. You've seen improvements at Brooklawn Park. You're seeing improvements at Riverside Park. You're seeing mills being redeveloped, millions of dollars. You're seeing new businesses starting to open up, expanding right here in the North End. You're seeing great artists now along Acushnet Avenue. Artwork is finally coming alive in the North End. Many of our own dreams that we wish that we could take the art from downtown and bring it along Acushnet Avenue in the North End. And it's just expanding here to the North End. We've always had great artists here in the North End, and it seems that people are finally coming alive, that we do have great artists here in the city of New Bedford and beyond. And as the mayor says, we want to spread the news about Hash Street Studios. We want people to locate here. We want people to work here. It's just a great place to live and work and play. And I'm so honored, along with the mayor and Derek and Jeff, to be part of this great team to offer these great opportunities in the city of New Bedford. There's nothing more rewarding, and just like the mayor, there's nothing more rewarding as we sit here and have such great press conferences like this, when we see mills being redeveloped like this. It's just a great space to be used, and I know that it's going to be used well. Jeff does a great job, and I know he'll do a great job with this project as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. All right, thank you, Steve. A lot has been said about Jeff, but I think if there's a takeaway today, it's that he is all in every respect in New Bedford and here in the North End. He's pursuing a business opportunity for sure to accelerate the growth of his very successful business, but he's also doing something that will pay dividends to the community in ways that are hard to quantify. Having a build out of artists, the presence of artists in our city on the scale that we're contemplating here is a really big deal. And doing it in a part of the city that has seen growth and could still use some more is really, to my mind, frosting on the cake. So, Jeff, we can't thank you enough. We think it's a really wise investment, but it's also a big-hearted investment in the city. I just ask you to come up and say a few words.
Thank you.
Sheesh, no one's ever said that many nice things in that long of a period of time about me. But anyway, my job today is to thank all of you for coming, to thank Mayor Mitchell, Derek Santos, City Councilor Martins for joining us today, and of course my wife for coming down today. And, of course, to thank all of the artists that are here, all of the tenants, all of the artists that occupy this great building, and not to mention Craig and Sig for offering their beautiful studio to us today. It is true that the North End really has taken off over the last number of years. And that's not coming from the mayor or any of his staff. That's coming from a business owner and a building owner. About 8 or 9 years ago, I occupied rental space in about 3 or 4 buildings in the North End and the South End. I was all over the place. And then I met the Economic Development Council folks and said, look, I need a home. I'm scattered with my business. I need a home. And because of them, they helped me find this home. They helped me figure out how to make the home work and how to grow my business. And as it turns out, it happened to be in the best possible spot right down the street here on Belleville Ave. So over the course of 7 years since I bought the building, a number of artists had come to me and in need of space. And I didn't know much about the artist community here in New Bedford. So I built, in a space that worked, about 7 art studios and business studios in the building down on Belleville Ave. And then I found that there was more and more and more of a need. And it just so happened that little birdie told me that there was a possibility of a sale here on Hatch Street. It took me about 2 years to secure the sale, but we finally did, and now we're very excited to be part of this growing artist community here in New Bedford. Couldn't be prouder to be a part of the community with such great people who occupy the building now, and are very excited to expand the second floor. What does that mean? Well, with the help of the city and with the help of some of my banking contacts, we're going to be developing the second floor, very similar to this floor, and producing another 20 art studios down on the second floor. Our time frame is probably throughout the winter, but we already have what I'm calling a waiting list. We have 3 names already who have decided they want in. So if you do know anyone else who would like to join this community, we'd like to build the Hatch Street community as the tightest and the best artist community here in New Bedford. We are very excited. The timing couldn't be any better. On November 21st and 22nd, or actually starting on the 20th, is the New Bedford Open Studios. Now, it starts earlier in a few other buildings, but here, I believe it's over the weekend of the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, open to the public. I don't know the hours exactly, but there are some folks from Open Studios here who will be handing out some information on the Open Studios. The Open Studios is a great chance for you to come and see what is going on here, to purchase some great artwork and some other crafts that are made here in the building. And we'll be opening the second floor to visiting artists, those artists that aren't in the building that want to show here as well. So the folks from Open Studios are here as well, and if you're watching at home, please check out the Open Studios website as well. But we're thrilled to be a part of this community, thrilled to be a part of developing another property here in the North End, and very excited. Thank you again. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Nice job. Well, I don't think we have a ribbon to cut just yet, but but I would just encourage everybody to get out and about and check out the studios, and especially come to New Bedford Open Studios next month. So that's Friday, November 20th through Sunday, the 22nd. The times are posted. Derek reminded me as we were walking up here that therein lies a great opportunity for getting a jump on Christmas season, because there's a lot of good stuff for sale. So I hope to see you all there. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome home, man.